I just had probably the greatest experience I've ever had at any car event ever. I'm gonna go sideways today in a GTST. When I came back from Greece when I was around 17, I started getting heavily into cars. I was always into machinery and anything mechanical, but I didn't do any activities based around that. And of course, on the low budget that I had, and being in the Northeast region, I got into Hondas. Not the best. Fast forward some years, I had stopped going to car meets, I stopped going to car shows, I stopped doing anything that was car event related. So anything that was a car event, I just would abstain from going to. And the reason for this was because I just didn't want to be associated with that image of a hooligan that just put a fart can on their car and pretended it was fast. I'm not about that life.
You just say we're almost dying?
We're almost dying! Thanks to one of my friends, Danny, I got invited to a drifting event. I didn't really think much of it at first. I was like, okay, that should be fun. I get to go see a right-hand drive Skyline GTST, which is one of my favorite cars of all time. But, you know, that was what I thought was going to be the highlight of my day. It was a highlight, but... Oh man. Let's just look at a clip right here. Oh, that's how we do it. That was sweet, dude. That was so fucking cool. First time ever drifting, and I feel like I'm already addicted to this now.
Right?
That's way funner than I thought it would be.
That's how it started. I did like ride-alongs one year, and I was like, well,
now I have to do this. Yeah. I'm riding on the track going sideways in one of my favorite cars. That's cool. Okay. But what's it like? Well, we'll get to that in a second. I want to talk to you more about the people. I have never been to such a humble group of people. I walked up to this kid driving another Skyline that didn't even have a front passenger seat, knocked on his window, and I was like, hey, can I ride with you? His name was Jake. Jake, if you're watching, thank you for the rides. And he was just like, yeah, hop in. This is a two-seater, technically. Yeah, right. Minus you, it's a two-seater. Yeah. So I had to sit in the back seat of this four-door, awesome Nissan Skyline GTST. I think it was a 1990. And it had a couple things done to it. Here's some B-roll of what it looked like, the engine and the rest of the car. I think it was putting down around like 330 at the wheel, somewhere around there. And this thing was super rad. I mean, both Skyline GTSTs that I rode in that day, thank you both to Danny and Jake, they were both rad cars and they were so different. Like Danny's was more soft and quiet and something that I would be more leaning towards if I were to own one. And Jake's was more of like the track car, fun, like loud, stiff, like aggressive car. Both are very fun and they're both, you know, on the track. Like these are both cars that I would enjoy to ride in again or, you know, drive something similar at some point. Hopefully I'll get to that one day in my life. And yeah, so I just walked up to this kid and I was like, hey, can I ride along? He was like, yeah, dude, hop in. And I helped him out with his camera work and, you know, he let me film from the inside. And I just want to let you guys understand something. Watch this clip, okay? Hell yeah. Damn, nice. Nice.
Well, you got my best friend of the day.
I just got chauffeured in one of my favorite cars of all time, doing something that I didn't even know I loved. From the moment I got on the track, I was instantly hooked. From the moment we exited our first slide with Danny, I was like, oh my God, let's do this again.
Came in hot on that last one.
Yeah, a little bit.
See, looking at drifting on Facebook or Instagram or, internet videos, you're like, okay, that looks cool. Yeah, it looks rad. Yeah, sure, of course it would be fun. Right, but you don't realize how fun it is. It's actually super addicting. You get into it and I can't even describe this feeling. If you've gone drifting in the snow, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. I've done 70 miles per hour sideways on big, long, sweeping corners with cars in the snow. That is fun, but that's a different type of fun. And yes, that's addicting too, but it's a little bit less addicting. Drifting on the track, doing, upwards of up to about 50 or 60 miles per hour tops. That's probably the funnest thing I've done in a car ever, and I couldn't get it out of my mind for days. This is actually 2 weeks later right now that I'm making this video, because I had to recollect, It was just like such an exhilarating experience. These imported from Japan real JDM cars that are rear wheel drive and just balls to the wall. They just go, you put your foot down and you steer it with your right foot, and it's amazing. Let's get back into it. Danny's car was a wonderful experience. It was just soft enough, but stiff enough to go around the track and not feel like it's sloppy and all over the place, because it did have coilovers on it. So, but it was nice on your back. Like, the interior of a Skyline GTST is awesome for what it is. You have to remember it's a 1990s car from Japan that is much smaller than you might expect. The R32 GTST is a small car. In fact, I compared it in many ways to my old Integra DB1. Before you get mad, yes, I know they're completely different, but if you look at them and you take a shot of whiskey, you're like, yeah, those cars are cousins. You can see it. Look at the outline. Here's the side view of one, and here's the side view of the other. Tell me these don't look the same. Exactly, they don't, but they look similar. So it was quite nostalgic for me. So what's it like drifting? What's it like riding in a drift car? Well, absolutely exhilarating. It is the funnest thing I've ever done in a car, ever. I still can't formulate actual words to describe the experience, but think of it more of like, if you've ever gone dancing, which for all of the girls that are watching this video, all 6 of you or 12, thank you for being here, by the way, I appreciate you. Dancing is a fun thing. You get in this flow and it's beautiful, and maybe the 3 guys that are watching this are into dancing too, even if you keep it a secret. I get it, don't worry. I like dancing too. You get in a zone and then your body is just taking you places, right? Especially if you're in a choreographed sequence, which is kind of like what a track is, because a track has set corners. Everyone's going to be going around the same corners in a similar fashion. Now, I did catch some footage of some, Formula Drift Pro 1 series, I guess they call it. I don't know. I did get footage of a Pro 1 driver, and you can notice the difference. The moment he got on the track, I noticed oh, he's not a C-class driver or an A-class. He's something else. Because the guy was doing 60 sideways with an entire nimbus of smoke behind him. But the fun factor is in this grassroots drifting. Everyone's so humble and helpful with each other. I would love to get into this. Not just for the sport, but just because of the community. I haven't met such nice people in a community before. They're tight-knit, they're enthusiastic, they're not full of the egos. It's not about who has the coolest car or who has the most trophies. None of that, no. Because it's a difficult sport. It's super difficult. It's like powerlifting. It's almost why I like powerlifters more than I like bodybuilders, is that it's more objective, it's less subjective. It's, can you lift the weight? Can you lift the weight well? Can you drift the corner? Can you drift the corner well? You know, and then do you have style about it? Because style does come in, but again, it's like the bragging rights are easily thrown out the window. Like someone will have bragging rights and I've seen them just be like, yeah, it's, you know, it's whatever. I just love doing it. It's not for the fame, it's for the passion. And that's what these people exhibited, true passion. Something that's far and few between in the world and the realm of car enthusiasts today. So with that, I leave you with some extra footage. Please sit tight and enjoy it. Stay marvelous. Peace out, everyone.
So close. So close.